Welcome to Catch and Go. In today's telecast, we're going to go into part one of the title called Phase 1 to the Gaza Strip, the masterpiece, below it, the Abraham Accord, and that's the key. PowerPoint number 1, of course, the Abraham Accord. PowerPoint number 2, the Game Changer. PowerPoint number 3, the Gaza Plan. PowerPoint number 4, the Peacekeepers. Below it, right, it's all about surveillance. PowerPoint number 5, what do you see? Below it, write the word turbulence. PowerPoint number 6, simply write surveillance. PowerPoint number 7, write one of my most famous and popular titles called The Hand is on the Clock. In PowerPoint number 8, Turbulence in the Sky. Let me repeat that again for you. PowerPoint number 1, the Abraham Accord. Below it, you write the masterpiece. Not only the Abraham Accord is the key, but the Game Changer is PowerPoint number 2. PowerPoint number 3, the Gaza Plan. PowerPoint number 4, Peacekeepers. And below it, it's all about surveillance. PowerPoint number 5, what do you see? Below it, turbulence. PowerPoint number 6 is the surveillance. Below it, right, let's play a game called chess and simply checkmate. PowerPoint number 7, the hand is on the clock. And PowerPoint number 8, turbulence in the sky. But I want to bring a correction, because PowerPoint number 1 is the Abraham Accord, and then I said that's the key. But before that, I said the masterpiece. Let us get started in part 1 of Phase 1 to the Gaza Strip. We start out with PowerPoint number 1, the Abraham Accord. I am not going to spend a whole lot of time in this title. There is a part 2 and a part 3. There is page 1, page 2, page 3, and then we're going to do a final part 4, and then we'll wrap it up with not only with the things that we have been saying, but the climax of the sequence. And the reason I said that, that's because that's what God just said seconds into this telecast. The grace of God said the climax in the sequence. And there are some things that God said to me right before I came to do this telecast, this part 1 of this title called Phase 1 to the Gaza Strip, the Abraham Accord. As you know, I have been saying since 2020 and for quite some time that all the chips are in place and all the major players are not only in place, but the grace of God has been saying what he showed me in the realm of the spirit. He showed me the words final mobilization. And I've been saying that for quite some time. And I believe going back to early 2024 or somewhere in the latter part of 2024, the grace of God said that he will begin his final mobilization. He will mobilize the nations, world power, world government, and world leaders. There is going to be what I said, that God said something to me earlier today. But the second thing that he said to me was this: the global confrontation. He said the global confrontations between world nations, world power, world government, and world leaders. But then the grace of God said also the confrontation when it comes to all believers. And that one you want to circle, because I'm going to explain perhaps in part 2 of Phase 1, this title called Phase 1, or in part 3, or in the final part, part 4 to this title, the Abraham Accord. All the players are in place. You see that last week they went over to the Middle East and they signed the Middle East peace plan. And you and I know that basically what you're going to see is nothing but turbulence. I have said over and over that it's a masterpiece. It's a plan in action. Not only a masterpiece, but a masterpiece. But God is going to expose not only the strategy and Satan and the Antichrist, not only plan a masterpiece, but God has got the upper hand and he's going to score checkmate. Global leaders around the world met over in the Middle East, not only to sign this peace treaty, but basically it ushered in the climax in the sequence to the key. And what's the key? The key is the Abraham Accord. And what you're going to see, because they continue to talk about eternal peace and everlasting peace in the Middle East. And all that's going to do is usher what the Lord said to me, a two-state solution. And also, you're going to quickly see 1 Thessalonians 5:3, and the Lord is showing me this word in the realm of the Spirit. Unexpectedly, there's going to be a rude awakening. Let's go to PowerPoint number 2, the game changer. Say it with me, the game changer. And I said that the game changer is a guy named Donald J. Trump. He is God's middleman. He is not only God's middleman, the man that God uses to set up to bring about the global revolution, where everything will be simply revolutionized, not by Donald Trump or any world leader or world power or world government, not by the Antichrist or the false prophet or by Satan, but by God himself, and God scoring simply checkmate. You see, it's a game changer where you're going to see nations not only go into a place where you're going to see global confrontation. As I said, that was the second thing that God said to me earlier today. I believe it was about 1:48 p.m. or 1:50 p.m., 10 minutes into 2 p.m. And the grace of God spoke concerning the global confrontation. Could it be that we are seconds away from the global climax and acceleration of a global trade war, but the global collapse, which will usher in a two-state solution, but also it's a game changer when it comes to what God is showing me. Matthew 24, verse 22. And he's also showing me another verse. Matthew 24, verse 15. The time of the abomination and desolation. And this is what the Lord said. He said these words, simply look up, because we're about to do a victory parade. PowerPoint number 3, the Gaza Strip and the Gaza plan. It's a masterpiece by the Antichrist. It's a masterpiece and a divine masterpiece in strategy by Lucifer himself. But he cannot do anything until God allows everything to go into total collision, total collapse, total confusion, a world in chaos, a polarized world, and every single human being and believer and world leaders and world power, simply everyone in the bubble. The grace of God showed me this one fraction. He said in 1/3 of civilization completely being eliminated from the face of the earth. God showed me another word, the word suppress, a time where we are in the dark period, a time of gloom and doom, and civilization is in for a world awakening, because the grace of God said these words. I heard them very clear. He's about to shake the foundations of the heavens and earth, and you're going to realize and understand that when it comes to those saying that we are in a time, in a moment of a great revival in the awakening, the grace of God has one thing in mind, to not only bring about the global awakening call. Remember, God said last week or 2.5 weeks ago, I should say, because it's been about 2.5 weeks ago since I did my last telecast, when the Lord said it's simply a wake-up call, but it's a day in which every believer, every born-again believer should rejoice, because we're about to do a victory lap. And the Lord quickly opened my eyes to show me that great cloud of witness multitude simply with the hands up, getting ready for a great celebration. And the Lord said, a great feast. He said, the feast and the wedding feast at the banquet, when we will sit and dine with the Lord once again. And we're seconds away from the harpazo in the rapture. PowerPoint number 4, the peacemakers. In what you see here is what is basically shaping up. It's all about surveillance, global censorship. They will put troops in the Middle East, down by the West Bank, in the Gaza Strip. And in this Gaza Strip plan, what you're going to see, every single thing that they claim or they coming out saying, I'm talking about world leaders, world power, and world government, talking about everlasting peace and eternal peace. What you're going to see is total self-destruction and total confusion, a chaotic situation, a polarized world, an anti-polar world, and God simply saying, you're going to see what he just said. I'm going to tell you what he just said. What you're going to see is the global removal of 3 world leaders, and the grace of God said that this is the 4th and final empire. Could it be the revived Roman Empire? But you need to understand one thing, that the glory of God, I have been saying for weeks and for months, that the Lord is seconds away from not only revealing who's the Antichrist, but I made this very clear. He must first reveal who is a false prophet. PowerPoint number 4, the peacekeeper. It's all about surveillance. It's about censorship. It's about suppression. And the grace of God showed me the word afflictions. In the time of affliction, whether it was in the old or in the new or old, the grace of God always has sustained his people. Not only in the time of Moses, in the time of Noah and Moses, in the times of Elijah, in the times of Ezekiel, in the times of Jeremiah and Daniel, in the great amount of prophets, in the New Testament, in not only in the time of the grace period, in the time of the great dispensation, in the Olivet Discourse, the grace of God is about to channel in a miracle, and not only a miracle, but God is about to funnel in many miracles into not only every born-again believers, but into your life and soul. And this is what the Lord said, that you are about to do a victory lap. Go ahead and claim it for your soul, whether it's your finances, whether it's your health. You've been diagnosed with some terminal illness or sickness and infirmity. The grace of God is simply showing me and saying that he's about to raise up a standard, and he will remove that infirmity and that sickness completely out of your body, transform you, clothe you with a heavenly body, and you're going to go up in glory. And God said, and he simply is going to wipe away your tears. Now, I want to make this very clear, that this peacekeeper and these troops over in the Middle East is nothing but a bunch of surveillance. But I want to go over to PowerPoint number 5. What do you see? You see turbulence. You see not only turbulence, but we can go a little bit down to PowerPoint number 8. And I said turbulence in the sky. There's coming a confrontation between NATO and Russia and Western civilization, between Western civilization and China. And China is ready to flex its military might and power. But the grace of God is simply saying that you need to remember that I have said that the South China Sea turns into also a flame of fire, just like the things over in the Golan Heights. What you're beginning to see is also that I did a title called The Hand is on the Clock. It's a masterpiece. The hand is on the clock. Who is controlling the clock? In God's perfect timeline, God's perfect time clock, God's perfect time in season. Remember, in these prophetic seasons, a time of gloom and doom, where the Lord is showing me Ezekiel 7 verse 1 to 7, Ezekiel 7 verse 7. You need to understand that when they talk everlasting peace, the grace of God is saying, Matthew 24 verse 15, the time not only of the abomination and desolation, you're seeing the fulfillment of the things written in the book of Daniel, not only in Daniel's time, but also when it comes to the book of Revelation in John at Patmos, when John received that revelation. Now I want to say to you what the Lord just said. The grace of God said that the books are about to open. PowerPoint number 6, I've already touched on it. It's called surveillance. And you and I need to understand that one of the things that God immediately came out and showed was what? The word final mobilization. You're going to see where the Lord is going to mobilize the hearts of world leader, world power, world government, and God literally is going to shake not only each world leader, each individual, and God is going to move them and swing their minds and emotions to go to war and go to battle. And God is quickly showing me Ezekiel, the battle of Armageddon is quickly shaping up. And God said, is that you're going to see a star called wormwood. And after he showed me and said a star called wormwood, the Lord showed me Satan falling like lightning to the earth. PowerPoint number 7, the hand is on the clock. I have said that is one of my most famous and most popular message that I did back, I believe, in 2020 or in 2021. And the grace of God is simply saying, what do you see? You see nothing but turbulence in the Middle East, a global Middle East crisis. There is no thing such as eternal peace or everlasting peace, where God is simply showing, and he began to recite to me this one verse. Are you ready? He began to recite Matthew 24 verse 22. God will shorten the days for the sake of the elect. And God said, this is what he said, listen very closely. When I said God will shorten the days for the sake of elect, God opened the window, and then God said to me, in the bride going up to meet the bridegroom. Glory to God. God is simply saying, in the bride going up in glory. You need to know that we are seconds away. And God is showing me one thing in the realm of the spirit. God is showing me the rainbow. Could it be that the moment in which God opened up and seconds into the video, he said, final mobilization in this telecast, phase 1 to the Gaza Strip, the masterpiece, and the Abraham Accord is the key. And I have said, all the players are in place. And last week was simply something that not only brought the whole world into where they begin to realize that God began to say alert and alarming moments where God is simply going to flush and take the bride, the church, the believers and the saints up in glory. But before he does that, he shakes the foundations of the heavens and earth. Well, let me repeat the PowerPoints. PowerPoint number 1, the Abraham Accord. That's the key. That's the key. Because PowerPoint number 2, the game changer. I said it's a guy named Donald Trump. And God using Trump so that God behind Trump's, he brings the global revolution. Everything being revolutionized. And Trump being recognized as the one global leader that will bring global peace, eternal peace, everlasting peace. But it's simply total self-destruction and destruction. And God said these words. Now this one I'm going to flex, because when God said these words, I quickly wanted to go ahead and say to you that it's time to flex, because God is about to flex behind what I'm going to say to you. God said in terror on the earth, not only terror on the earth, but catastrophic events. not only catastrophic event. And God said these words, indignation, the indignation and the wrath of God. And God is saying, you're going to see quicker than you think so soon. They're going to finalize the two-state solution and the Abraham Accord. God is showing me one individual, and that individual that God is showing me is simply the Saudi crown prince. Why in the world would the Lord show me the Saudi crown prince? Why would not the Lord show me Jared Kushner instead? Well, he was the one that put together the 20 points to this peace plan. He worked for 9 or 10 months. So why in the world does God shows me the Saudi crown prince? And now God is showing me the president of Turkey, Erdogan. And God said he has every intention and every plan to go up to the north and invade the nation of Israel. Let me close with giving you the PowerPoints. I said PowerPoint number 1, the Abraham Accord. PowerPoint number 2, the game changer. PowerPoint number 3, the Gaza plan is a piece. It's not only a plan in action, but you got PowerPoint number 4, the peacemakers and troops, and God said the crackdown. And the Antichrist having full control of not only everything in the Gaza Strip and in the Middle East, but God is also saying to me that what you're going to see, that this is a moment where the entire world, all of civilization, all of humanity is going to witness one thing, because God said terror on the earth. And God said what before that? Several minutes before that, God said, and 1/3 of civilization completely being wiped out from the face of the earth. I'm going to leave it right here. What you need to also understand, that PowerPoint number 5, what do you see is turbulence in the climax, in the sequence to 96 hours to global catastrophic event. And God saying what you're going to see is World War III in turbulence and chaos, in a chaotic world, in a chaotic situation, not only in the South China Sea, but also over in the Indo-Pacific, but also in the Black Sea, but most of all, the global Middle East crisis. And God saying that you need to understand this one thing, that God said that we are going up as pillars, not only in the up, like the upper room, where God came and visited those 120 people. They were there in the upper room. And the glory of God is saying, what you got is a sound, a wind, a sound beyond that wind. The clouds moving, there's rotation. Not only in that formation, and in that rotation of the clouds, what you're going to see is that the saints, the believers, the bride, and every born-again believer and every Gentile going up with God's end-time remnant, and where every Israelite and every Jew that is accepted acknowledge that Jesus Christ is Lord of all. PowerPoint number 7, the hand is on the clock, and God said doomsday clock. And I said PowerPoint number 8, turbulence in the sky. We're going to leave it right here when it comes to phase 1, part 1, to the Gaza Strip. And the key is simply the Abraham Accord. May the Lord so richly bless you. Remember to click like, share, subscribe, hit on the bell to receive our latest telecast. And I catch you on my next telecast of Catch and Go. God bless.